What's up, everybody? Weston here with Hayden Gibbon, back with another Daily Deck Tech video, and back with another viewer request. And today, we have a classic. We have Voja, Jaws of the Conclave, a card that I personally despise playing against in 1v1 Arena, but one that we had someone request, so gotta do it, right? But before we get into that, if you like my daily deck text, if you like Magic for the Working Class, my historical commander, or my discussion content, anything else in between, if you feel I'm doing a job and are good job, and only if you feel I'm doing a good job, please feel free to subscribe. Now, without further ado, let's get into Voja here. So today's deck tech, I actually have 3 that will be coming up, all requested by Flash Firefox 1, requesting bracket 3 power with no game changers, because in their pods they're essentially playing bracket 3 without game changers, and for the budgets to be around 200 British pounds, or up to 200 British pounds. Now, I don't live in the UK, so I had to do the old googly math to figure out what that is in USD, and that comes out to about $268. Now, I did go under that budget significantly because, having interacted with somebody from the UK before, it is difficult for them to get a hold of a lot of different cards based on their local site. So I wanted to go a little bit lower budget, just in case they had to order internationally or something like that. My affinity for making sure that Magic is affordable to everyone also spans to all of you wonderful folks from overseas. I want Magic to be affordable to everyone, not just us here in America. So, now, without further ado, we have ourselves Voja, Jaws of the Conclave. It's a 5/5 for 2 generic and Naya, and has 100 trillion words on it. First of all, it's keyword soup with Vigilance, Trample, and Ward 3. Ward 3 is incredibly strong in Commander. It is so strong. In the 1v1 Brawl format on Arena, it essentially is hexproof at the rate that this thing can get out and onto the battlefield. And then Voja has, whenever Voja, Jaws of the Conclave, attacks, put X 1/1 counters on each creature you control, where X is the number of elves you control, and then you draw a card for each wolf you control. Now, I've seen a bunch of different versions of this, and we're going mostly elves with a splash of some wolves today. But the most interesting one I ever did see was a shapeshifter one, and that one was disgusting and really strong. But we're going to go elves, lots of mana dorks, low to the ground, and then beat people's faces in. And how are we going to do that? Well, we're running 33 creatures. That's one way to do it, right? Just dump an absolute ton of creatures onto the board. And we have a bunch, and most of them are elves. But the first one we're going to talk about today is a Nara, Wolvid Familiar. It's a 4/4 wolf beast for 4. As long as it's your turn, commanders you control have indestructible. So, in case somebody does want to pay the ward, they can't destroy your Voja. They have to get rid of a Nara first. Anara does have partner, but sadly, or not so sadly, Voja does not. So the partner is kind of a useless mechanic here. We do have tons of mana dorks today. We have Arbor Elf, we have Devoted Druid, Druid of the Anima, which can add one of any of the Naya colors. We have Elvish Mystic, Arc Druid, or Elvish Arc Druid, which makes all of your elves into mana dorks. Let's see here. Findhorn Elves, Gyre Sage, Incubation Druid, Llanowar Elves, Llanowar Visionary. Morrowind, which gets bigger and then adds more and more green mana. Paradise Druid, Viridian Joiner, which adds mana equal to its power, so it gets bigger as Voja gets bigger. Priest of Titania, which adds a green for each elf on the battlefield. Rishkar, which makes your creatures into mana dorks, and then Wood Elves, which fetches a good ol' forest. So as you can see, just an absolute absurd amount. Oh yes, Farhaven Elf as well searches for a basic land card and puts it onto the battlefield. So, obviously, our goal is going to be playing a bunch of mana dorks to get Voja out as early as possible, and then power out our absolute stack of elves. We then also need some draw, so we're going to have Beast Whisperer in here, and Champion of the Perfect. Champion of the Perfect does require you to behold an elf and exile it. So exile an elf from either the battlefield or your hand, and whenever you cast a creature spell, you draw a card. And when this creature leaves the battlefield, you return the exiled card to its owner's hand. And then Beast Whisperer is, of course, the classic. Whenever you cast a creature spell, you draw a card. Now, I cannot remember, but I think I did. I did not. A thing that you could add into this deck is also Glimpse of Nature, a classic elf card. We do have Dwynnin in here, so an Elf Lord. We have quite a few Elf Lords in here, is right. We have Dwynnin, which gets +1/+1. Whenever Dwynnin attacks, you gain 1 life for each attacking elf. Elvish Archdruid pumps your elves, right? Some more utility elves are Dwynnin's Elite. When it enters, if you control an elf, you make an elf token. We have Elvish Warmaster, so whenever 1 or more elves enter the battlefield under your control, create a 1/1 green elf. Triggers only once each turn. Elvish Visionary to draw a card. Evolution Witness. Whenever 1 or more 1/1 counters are put on Evolution Witness, return target permanent card from your graveyard to your hand. So you got Recursion. Where is it? Galagrators. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, choose one that hasn't been chosen this turn, put a 1/1 counter on it, create a tap treasure, or gain 2 life. We do have Grand Warlord Rada. I like Rada as a character. She was going to be a planeswalker, but her spark got sacrificed essentially in the mending. Haste, and whenever 1 or more creatures you control attack, add that much mana of any combination of red or green to your mana pool. Until end of turn, you don't lose this mana as steps and phases end. She is pretty much our only one of only 2 red creatures in the entire section of creatures. We have Imperious Perfect. You can make a mana dork, or not mana dork. You can make a dorky little elf, and it also pumps your elves. Let's see here. Lysa Lana Huntmaster. Whenever you cast an elf spell, you get to create an elf. Masked Vandal is a shapeshifter, so is Mirror Entity. So Masked Vandal is whenever Masked Vandal enters the battlefield, you may exile a creature card from your graveyard. If you do, exile target artifact or enchantment. So a little bit of removal for that stuff there. Mirror Entity. This card's going to be really strong. So it's a 1/1 for 3, and you pay X until end of turn. Creatures you control have base power and toughness and gain all creature types. That's really, really strong. So if you've already gotten some counters on your elves, what you do is you do this to make their base power and toughness like 5, and then you're going to get to draw a card for each wolf, since they're all going to be wolves, and get a 1/1 counter for each elf. You're going to absolutely think of this as like game-ending card. A little 1/1 for 3, just under the radar little card that can just end games. We have Packsong Pup. At the beginning of combat on your turn, if you control another wolf or werewolf, put a 1/1 counter on it, and when it dies, you gain life equal to its power. It's just here as a little filler. You know what? Honestly, we're going to remove this, and we're going to put in Glimpse of Nature. There we go. Look at that. Making changes on the fly. Shalai and Halar is a Flying and Vigilance Elf Angel, and whenever 1 or more 1/1 counters are put on Shalai, on a creature you control, Shalai and Halar deal that much damage to target opponent. So, if you have 10 creatures and they're all getting 1/1 counters on them, you're just gonna just absolutely truck somebody for a ton of damage. Just a ton of damage. Sorceries. We have Chandra's Ignition. Target creature control deals damage equal to its power to each other creature and each opponent. And then we have Cultivate, Kodama's Reach in here, and Rampant Growth for ramp. We have Elvish Promenade. It drops an elf onto the field for each elf you control. Overwhelming Stampede is in here to win you the game. It's game ender. Glimpse of Nature, the card I just added in here, is a sorcery. I love this art, by the way, but I gotta switch to an English version so that we can read it here. It simply is a sorcery for 1 that says whenever you cast a creature spell this turn, draw a card. Card is very, very strong. It saw play in elf decks in Legacy to just combo out and win in 1 turn. Instants. We have 13, most of which are going to be protection and then removal. So our protection, we have Boros Charm, which makes things indestructible. Heroic Intervention, indestructible. Snakeskin Veil is hexproof. Rootborn Defenses and Unbreakable Formation also give indestructible. Galadrim Ambush will fog and also give you a bajillion little elves. We have Beast Within, We have, where is it? Path to Exile, Swords to Plowshares, and Stroke of Midnight for removal. We have Mercy Killing. Sack one of your own big elves, right? Sack a creature, target creature's controller sacrifices it, and then puts X1/1 green and white elf warrior creatures where it's its power. So you pump up some dorky little elf token, a whole bunch, and then you sack it to generate even more elf tokens. We have Elven Ambush. You put an elf into play for each elf you control, and Cabaretti Charm, which is damage equal to the number of creatures you control to target creature or planeswalker, so removal, or creatures you control get +1/+1, or you can make 2 little citizens. Artifacts. We are running Mana Rocks. The goal is to get Voja out faster than anybody can deal with it. So 100% of my artifacts today are Mana Rocks. We've got all 3 talismans in here, right? Yeah, Talisman of Conviction, Talisman of Impulse, Talisman of Unity. We have the 3 signets in here. Then we also have Soul Ring, Arcane Signet, and Felwar Stone. And because we jammed so much into the artifacts and the creature slot, I'm running 1 enchantment, Rhythm of the Wild, which gives our creatures Riot. They can either enter with a 1/1 counter or with haste. And then we were running 37 lands. You could honestly probably drop it down to 35, but I don't ever want to go lower than 36. Because our red and our white are mostly in our utility slots here, and the rest is all green, we did go with more forests than mountains and plains. When I ran it out, we did pretty well. We have lots of different lands. Keswick Wolf Run for kind of a game ender land as well. But overall, that is the current build. And now, let's take a gander and see if Moxfield is kind today. Oh. Save state. Oh, yeah, I was playtesting it. All right, so this is what we got here. We have Game Trail, Battlefield Forge. Ooh, this, you know what? We're going to mulligan. And, of course, we don't get a land that turn. See, friends, this is why we don't. I'll keep this hand. All right, so we will draw. We do have to put a card on the bottom of our library. I am going to do that to Keswick Wolf Run. We're going to draw. I'm going to play a forest. Next turn, I'm going to play plains. And I am going to play Devoted Druid. Next turn, I'm going to play Clifftop Retreat, which will come into play untapped. I'm going to play Marwyn. We're going to play this mountain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to play Voja. Not bad, not bad at all. Next turn, we are going to drop a mountain. And I am going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to drop Liss Alana Huntmaster. Whenever you cast an elf spell, you may put a 1/1 green elf warrior creature token into play. I'm going to add a counter onto Marwyn. She now will get to add 2 green. And then I'm going to add 1, 2, 3, 4. I am going to play Elvish Promenade. So it is a elf spell. That's important. It is a kindred spell, so we get to put an elf warrior into play. That one's green-white. Oops. There we go. There's our elf warrior for the Liss. And then we also get to add 1, 2, 3, 4 more. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. Mind you, this is the first turn that Voja can attack. It has trample. All right, so we're going to move to combat step. And we are going to attack. It has vigilance because it has to have every keyword ever. And so, also, you know, when these elves enter the battlefield, we had 5 more elves enter, so we get to add counters. Voja is going to attack. So put X1/1 counters on each creature you control, where X is the number of elves you control. We have 5, 6, 7, 8. So each creature is going to have 8 counters put on it. And now you see why this creature is just busted. Oh my god. Adding counters is a pain in the butt. And then we go up to 14 here. And so Voja crashes in for 13. On our next turn, we draw. We have Mercy Killing, right? You know what I'm going to do? I am going to tap 1, 2. I'm going to tap these 2 red first. I'm going to play this little Celestia Signet. And then I'm going to tap these 3. I'm going to play Mercy Killing. And I'm going to sacrifice this Elf Warrior, who had 8 counters on it. So then we are going to put 8 1/1s into play. And these are the green-white. And we want to make a token copy. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there are 8 Elf Warriors. So that puts 8 more counters onto Marwyn. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 4, 5, 6, 7. We have 15 elves. We move to combat. We are going to attack with her, this. And they are all going to get 15 more counters on them. This is what Voja can do. This is why Voja is such a terrifying card. And even before I got this viewer request, I did a poll at who is the most terrifying at bracket 3, and Voja was voted overwhelmingly the most terrifying commander at bracket 3 out of those options. Now, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Let me know how I'm doing here over at the Hidden Gibbon, and you know, if you want to see your commander made into a deck tech, drop it in the comments down below. And I hope you all have a wonderful day.